WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. AdPro Sports. AdPro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Hey everybody, welcome into High School Sports Saturday. I'm Francis Beck, Tom Prince, Frank Wolf taking the week off today. We have a very special edition of our show today. We are previewing Super Monday back at the KeyBank Center. We're bringing in about 5 of the players that are going to be playing this weekend on Monday in those 3 games. We're going to talk to our first set of guys in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about everything else that's going on, the latest and greatest in high school sports from this week. So we'll start with basketball. Quarterfinals underway. Of course, we know next week are the semifinals here at semifinals on the NFHS Network. They're going to be going all Monday. Really, there's going to be basketball Monday through Saturday. So plenty to watch on there. In Double A, I'm just going to pull up the highlights. Start with the girls. Lancaster and Clarence both won their quarterfinals. Bit of an upset in Double A. We had Frontier defeat Lockport 62-48. They're going to face Jamestown next week. Those games will be Thursday at Sweet Home. Class A1 seeds pretty much held. Kenmore West won. Sweet Home did get a win over Hutch Tech as the 5 seed. 2-3 game. Hamburg and North Tonawanda will play. A2, pretty much the same deal. Williamsville South will take on Amherst. They got a big win over Emerson, Buffalo Culinary, and then Star Point and South Park. Those games will be Wednesday. The B1 quarterfinals are today at noon, so we'll keep an eye on those. On Class B2, seeds pretty much just went as where Falconer got a win over number 2 Olmsted, so they moved on to the second round. Class C, we have Randolph will face Portville. Wilson will take on number 7 Cassadaga Valley after Cassadaga Valley beat MST 65-37. And then the Class D semis are set. Panama against Franklinville, Elkidville against Sherman. Again, that's the girls. As far as boys go, a lot of games still yet to be decided. Most of those games are happening today. So be sure to keep an eye on that. I'm sure Center Court will be out there for sure. The other big news going on in high school sports is out in Albany. We have several wrestlers today competing for a state title at the individual tournament. Here's who we have so far still left. This is from our Matt O'Rourke, who, of course, is out there doing great coverage out in Albany. In Division I, we have 126 Jaden Crumpler from Niagara Falls and Marfino Reynolds Jr. from Niagara Falls. 138 Deshaun Matthews from Niagara Wakefield. 145 Cam Catrabone from Will North. And then Division II, 102, we have J.J. Luzinski from Newfane. We had him on last week. Jordan Jocelyn from Chautauqua Lake. Aiden Gillings from Newfane. Tavon Hoos from Southwestern. And Trevor Berry from Iroquois. So that is kind of the latest in everything going on. We're going to get into hockey in just a little bit. First, I want to introduce you my guests, and then we're going to talk to them after the break. I'm inviting on from Niagara Weekfield, Anthony LaGreca, and from Clarence, Owen Meichenbaum. Guys, you are competing. Let's just start with this before we take a break. You guys are competing for a sectional title. You guys are going to the Key Bank Center. You were there Friday to tour it. What was that like? Who wants to go first?
It was.
You can come up a little to the mic.
It was a really cool experience. To see where you're playing. To see the coaches talk, like their Star Points coach who we're playing, our coach. Just to see what it's gonna be all about.
Yeah, it was a nice experience. We got to see the ice from there, the level. So, just to see the stadium around us and see the environment we're going to play in was really interesting.
All right, guys. We are going to talk to you a little more. We're going to take a short break. You're watching High School Sports Saturday Super Monday Preview on WNY Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Welcome back to High School Sports Saturday. Francis Beck joined by Owen Meichenbaum and Anthony LaGreca. So here's how today's going to work. We kind of came up with an interesting idea. We have 6 teams competing, so we have representatives from 5 teams coming in today. We decided to kind of pair them off. We didn't want to make it, opponent versus opponent. We didn't want any fisticuffs in here, so we kind of mixed it up. So we're starting with Oaken Meichenbaum, Clarence out of the large schools, and Niagara Weekfields, Anthony LaGreca out of the small schools. So guys, you guys are playing for a sectional title Monday. You're not the defending champions. You're facing defending champions. Tell me, how did it? Also, Owen, we'll start with you. What did it take to get here?
So we started slow, but the team's really picked up their pace as we've moved along in the season. We had our quarterfinal game against the Lockport Niagara Falls team, which we took care of, and then the Lancaster game was obviously the big game that we were preparing for. They beat us both times during the season, so we really had to put up our best game to beat them, and we ended up beating them 5-1. So, it took a lot from the whole team, and we're ready for OP on Monday.
How did that change your approach going into that game? Was it what did you realize going into that game? What you guys needed to do in order to win it?
Definitely more shots and going to the net. We tended to shoot from the outside a lot and not have any dangerous opportunities in front of the net. Obviously the first goal, which was a little bit of a scramble, we got that in. I know I got one by throwing it to the front of the net and just kind of letting it happen there. And then even our 5th goal, I remember, was a scramble in front of the net. So if we get people there, more chances can happen. So I think that helps.
I thought, first couple goals in that game, that semifinal game, were just kind of, I don't want to say junk goals, but they were kind of weird goals. When you get through all that, does it affect you guys when, goals happen like that?
I don't think so. If we see a goal go in, we're going to respond to that no matter what the situation is for it. So I think even if it's a junk goal, it's really going to help the team.
Anthony, the last time your team made it to the sectional final, you guys were a large school, about 4 to 5 years. What does it mean for Niagara Weekfield hockey to make it back to the Key Bank Center?
It's great. You hear stories about all the guys before you, and all you see the videos. I'm celebrating. I think we've won 9 section championships in our time here, and to be put down, it hurts a little bit. But like you said, we're coming back.
If you could boil it down to one or two reasons, what's the reason you guys are in this position?
I'd say it's our group. You know, our coaches. We've bought into everything that they tell us. You know, we set a great start to the season. Towards the end of the season, we went a bit up and down, but I mean, we're finding our stride again towards the end. It's things are going up.
Oh, and I want to get into the nitty-gritty, guys. I went through your schedule last night. You didn't start off the year very well. You got your first win, what was that, December 15th. You started off the year a tie to Frontier, a 2-goal loss to Orchard Park, a 1-goal loss to Lancaster, and then a tie to Niagara Wheatfield, which we'll get into more in a second. How do you explain those first 4 games, and then more importantly, how you got here now?
I think a lot of it was just a new group and forming together. So, I mean, we had a lot of new sophomores. We have a few freshmen even. It took them a second to kind of get into the group's mentality, I would say, and the system that we play in. So I think that with time we started to gel better and started to believe in each other more.
Anthony, you guys play. I just mentioned you guys tied in this year. Both of you, take me back. Anthony, we'll start with you. Take me back to that game. What do you remember about it? Any animosity between you guys?
All I remember is I think we were winning with maybe a minute left, and they tied it. You know, it hurt, and nobody could really get it together in overtime.
What do you remember about that game?
Yeah, I remember being up 3-1, I believe, and then they came back, went up. They scored 3 straight and went up. But I think that was another learning moment for a lot of our guys because, I mean, it wasn't we're not obviously, we're just big school, small school, so it wasn't going to affect us per se in the standings as much, but it was a good learning game for each team.
Owen, I kind of asked this question, Anthony. Clarence hasn't been to the KeyBank Center, the sectional final, in a long time. What does this mean for the Red Devils?
It means a lot. I mean, a lot of us haven't experienced this. I remember 2 years ago we lost to Lancaster. Then obviously last year was the OP year. And I think a lot of the guys are hungry to try and get that first win for this team. And wouldn't it be nice to see a section championship on the banner?
Anthony, I want to go in the nitty-gritty of your schedule. You know, mostly wins on here, but there's a couple of skids in here. Let's start with the first one. Was back in December. It was actually your last game going into break and the first game coming out. You lost to Nichols 8-3. Now, Nichols is a very good team. We know we have TJ Bammer coming in. And then you lost to Batavia, a team from Section 5. Would you consider that a skid, or because they were so far apart? I mean, take me through those losses.
I'd say the Nichols game, one that we definitely want back. You know, we talk about it still. We didn't really show up that day. It was just kind of a rough outcome. But the Batavia game, I mean, that's definitely one that we want back. It was a great game. They're a good team, but I think we played our game for the majority of it. But I mean, I remember we got caught up in penalty troubles for pretty much the entire game, and I don't know if it would be a skit, but yeah, it's 2 losses that stick out, I guess.
And then a little bit later in the year, you had 2 losses back-to-back. St. Mary's, a very good team, and then Grand Island, one of your league rivals. And folks, I don't want to make it look like I'm just picking on their losses, but the rest is wins. So I want to break down what these guys are doing. So those 2 games, was it a little bit of a skid? Was it just 2 bad nights that just happened to be in a row?
Yeah, I guess it was a skid. I remember the Mary's game, we just couldn't score. It was kind of just a really strange game. And then the Grand Island game was a big one for us because, I mean, they got under our skins. You know, they played their hockey and got us out of ours. But we did play them in the playoffs this past week, and we stuck to what we knew worked, and we ended up winning that.
Your last regular season game, Kenmore West, was a tough loss, and then you played 2 close games in the playoffs. Walk me through. I know you had North Tonawanda in there, but what is the mindset of this team? What do you remember from the Kenmore West game?
Not much. It was again just a rough game. Just had to keep moving forward after that. You know, get some hard practices in. Get back to what we knew worked in the earlier half of the season.
Oh, and I'll go back to you. Sometimes it's a game, you know, I'm just looking at paper right now, but you've obviously been there all season. Is there a moment, whether it was a moment in the game or a practice, a moment in practice, like a turning point of the season that you knew, like, that making it to a sectional final and winning one was possible?
I would say the game against Joe's we had. We went into that game, thinking highly of our opponent. It's Joe's. Normally, you've been seeing them as a good team, and they've been a good team for a while. So we ended up beating them 4-0 that game, and I think that kind of was like a shift in the tone of the room. I think we started believing in ourselves a little bit more. That was earlier in right after that slow start we had.
Yeah, that was, I see, in January 4th.
Yeah, so I believe that started to change how as I said, we changed our thought process into what we could do as a team. So that really started to give us some momentum into the closing half of the season.
Anthony, same question to you.
I'd say we always knew that our group was special since probably the start of the season. It was more of just executing, because I think we had the skill for sure, and it was just getting the team together to believe in it and buy in.
You guys both have very veteran coaches who have been around for a long time. What is some of the biggest pieces of lessons or biggest wisdom that you think you get from those your coaches? Owen, you want to go first?
Coach Brooks is always there to calm us down if we're struggling or something like that. He knows the game well, so if we're playing something that's not our style, he'll know how to fix it for us.
And Coach Raz has been there probably like 50 years by now, but
wow. Hopefully he's not watching. Jeez.
he knows his stuff for sure. He's a great coach. It's just the guys, they believe in him, and we execute when he tells us to, and it's just working towards, we all have the same goal.
Oh, and I think you guys have the most interesting practice schedule out of anyone in the Fed. You practice 6, 7 in the morning at Northtown, and then you get a bus all the way to Clarence. Mm-hmm. Do you prefer that? Would you rather be in the afternoon, or you just kind of, how do you feel about that?
I actually kind of enjoy the morning practices. It leaves the afternoon free, so obviously our school schedule is 8:50 to 3:30, so we have time for that in the morning. And 5:30 wake-ups are a little brutal in the beginning, but you get used to them pretty quickly.
Anthony, what's your practice times? You guys are mostly out at Hockey Outlet, right?
Yeah, we're a 250 team, and I'm okay with that. Afternoon after school, can't do those mornings.
And you guys are facing Star Point, two teams. You're only 10 miles away. Mm-hmm. Is that maybe it's not quite there in other sports? Is there a bit of a rivalry between you guys, at least in terms of that closeness?
I'd say so. Yeah, since getting put in a small school, these last couple of years, we've actually had some really close games with them. I remember my last year, I think it was, we lost in overtime. This year we did get them in the regular season. It's just going to be close. We know that.
I'm assuming you played with the Blades growing up? Or did you guys play with a lot of Star Point kids on there?
I don't know about on that team, but I know 2 years ago I was on the Regals with, Kirk and Mainstone, they're guys. So it's kind of cool to, you know them, you've played with them. You need to play them now in the sectional championship.
What's something that most people don't know about those guys that kind of maybe gives you, I don't want to say it gives you an edge, but obviously we know that their line, that those Kirk, Mainstone, and I know I'm forgetting the third one right now. Justin Bull, who I just talked to. They're a special line. What do you know about those guys that maybe most people don't know?
They're beatable. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. I think, me and Robert Wegren, we both played with Kirk and Mainstone. It's just, I think we're, I don't know what to say.
Oh, and do you know personally, outside of playing against them in Fed, any of the guys in Orchard Park?
I know one of their defensemen, Landon Kramer, from when I played with him on SCTA a few years ago, but that's basically it.
All right, well, let's go into these teams deeper look. You guys played, so Anthony, we'll start with you. You guys played Star Point once, 5-1. That was back in January 14th. You won that game. Walk me through that game.
We just played our game, not get caught up in anything, any of the, just the garbage stuff. We stayed strong to what we know about our team.
Do you think, because obviously they have a great season, I'm sure 5-1 is not what they're used to. Is there kind of a sense from you guys that you're probably not going to face that same team on Monday?
I mean, I would imagine that they were going to look back at that loss. You know, they don't want that to happen again. So, I mean, yeah, you can imagine probably a closer game coming up.
Owen, you split the season with Orchard Park. You had the 3-1 loss beginning of the year. I know you talked a little bit about that, but you got a win over them 3-2. That was in late January. Walk me through both of those games. What did you learn from them?
The first one, the 3-1 loss, was, again, early in the season. I think it was a pretty even game. It was 2-1, and then they scored an empty netter late. So, I mean, it was a really even game back and forth. And I did think it was a lot of the shots from the outside again, where we didn't really get to the front of the net until maybe later in the game. The second game, we won 3-2, and I remember they had a 5-on-3 with 50 seconds left we missed an empty net, and then we got an interference call on it too. But I think it was a lot. I mean, we got to thank our goalie Shoemaker. He's held up pretty well for us in that second game, and even the first game he only let in 2. That one as well. But as long as we can play our game, like he said, I think we can beat anyone.
It seems like he's a crowd favorite. I kept hearing Shu the whole time on Monday. What is it like to have? I mean, he's obviously a top goalie in this league. What is it like to have him behind you as a defenseman to stop pucks?
I mean, it's kind of just like a safety blanket. It allows me to like rush the puck up, take chances that I might not if I didn't have someone solid in net that could be there if I make a mistake.
And Anthony, I'll ask about Jacob Armheim. It seems like I saw him against Ken Maurice. He was standing on his head. I'm sure he's stood on his head for a couple games this season. What's it like to play with him?
Yeah, it was his first year coming in, and no one really knew, but he played above all expectations. He's been great so far. It's great to have him.
All right, so now the tough question. All right, I want you to imagine Monday night, you are holding up the sectional banner in KeyBank Center, both of you. Owen, I'll start with you. If that happens, what probably you guys need to do in order to make that happen?
Like I said earlier, I think a lot of people in traffic in front of the net. Obviously, this Orchard Park team's experienced. They're going to know how to play winning hockey. So I think pressuring them early, getting on them, and maybe getting under their skin a little bit. I think we can get some power plays. Our power play's been pretty efficient this year. So I think that would be a good way to get under them and get some goals in the net.
Anthony, you're holding up the sectional title in KeyBank Center. What has to happen to make that happen?
Capitalize on all chances, stick to our game, just, break them down, work pucks low, just do the simple things, and over time it'll pay off.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. We wish you good luck on Monday. Again, those games will be right on the NFHS network with the small school starting at 3:45, and we're going to end the night with the large school at 8:45, private school game in between. Speaking of the private schools, we have coming up next TJ Bamrick from Nichols. We're going to talk to him about his game on Super Monday. But Owen, Anthony, thank you guys for coming in, and we wish you good luck on Monday. This is High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home. If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Welcome back to High School Sports Saturday. Thank you for Owen Meichenbaum, and Anthony LaGreca from Niagara Rayfield and Clarence, respectively, for joining us. Right now we have joining us, you can see TJ Bamrick. He is from Nichols. We did try to invite, the only team that couldn't make it today was Starpoint. Fortunately, they couldn't make it today, but we did invite them out, and we certainly wish them luck on Monday. So TJ, you're riding solo in the second segment. TJ Bamrick of Nichols, defending Niagara Cup champions. TJ, I want to start with this. Nichols is a different school when it comes to hockey. You're actually, quote-unquote, JV team, or at least second team in that school. How is, I know you've never seen the other side of it, but how is playing hockey at Nichols different from most other schools?
Being the only school at in Buffalo with a rink on campus is quite an advantage. Sometimes during the school days, my coach will host like a skills skate, and it's just helmet, sticks, and gloves, and guys from our team and the prep team can come out and work on their skills, work on their craft, kind of get those reps in that they need to kind of elevate their game. And I don't think other schools in the area kind of offer that.
And the other advantage you guys have, so you look at your roster, you see a lot of 9th and 10th graders, only maybe 5 juniors, no
5
seniors
juniors
on this roster.
Yeah.
You guys are a young team, but you make up for the fact that you guys play together in the fall, right?
Right. Yeah, so we're a 16U team in the fall, and then with the Fed team, like 1 or 2 freshmen kind of add on, and they play their own 14U team in the fall, and then they come play with us in the winter in the Fed. And I think having those couple of months, we kind of get the lines down, get the systems down, get kind of how we want to play against other teams, kind of figure out our identity and who we are as a team. And it kind of shapes up well for the Fed season.
TJ, I don't know. For some reason, I thought you had more, and I mean this in a good way, because it seems like whenever I'm at a game, you're always around the puck. 7 goals, 2 points, or 2 assists, 9 points. What do you attribute your individual success to? How do you play your game?
I think this year, with our Fed team, I kind of haven't found a role as like a point guy. We've got a lot of very, very skilled guys. So I've taken pride in the D zone, in like getting pucks out there, making sure, like being sure at both blue lines. And I mean, I can't complain. Only getting 9 points, like, yeah, I may have wanted more, but when you're first in the state, first in your division, can't really complain. And hockey's a team sport, so I'm happy that we're first.
Then let's take a second, talk about some of your guys who are leading the way. I see Jake Caffrey, or you know what? I'm getting the My eyes are confusing me. I'm getting old. We have McLean Agret, 22 points. Miles Santamaria, 15 points. McLean Agret's only a freshman. He jump in and have a big game. What are the keys to their game? Why are they so successful?
That kid, McLean, I'm sorry. He is an IQ second to none. One of the smartest players I've ever played with. Unreal skill. He may be short, but he uses his body to his advantage, kind of protects himself, spins into guys. Occasionally you'll see him reverse hit a couple people. But he's smart. He's a tremendous playmaker, and he can score when he needs to.
Tell me, what is a smart hockey player in your eyes?
Seeing the ice very well, making that first pass when needed. He's always at the right place at the right time. He's like that defined like playmaker, and he also kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder as well, like being a shorter guy, but he defends himself well.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it so you don't have to say it. I'm assuming this is a little bit lower level competition face than maybe you face in the fall. What kind of teams, what kind of schools do you face during your fall 16U season?
So you have to play Q games. So in order to try and make states. So we played the 16U Junior Sabres, the 16U split season Buffalo Regals. We also took a weekend in Minnesota and went to North Star and played the North Star team, which is top 5 in the country. We've played against other high-level teams like BK, Bishop Kearney, who's top 5 in the country. So playing those skilled teams, it's kind of like we recognize we put up a fight against these guys. We shouldn't have a problem in the Fed, and we're always trying to up our game, and that comes with building habits and practice and playing the right way, and playing the right way against those good teams, and I think that's why we found success in the Fed League.
What would you say is more? What would you guys be more proud of? I forgot to look up how you guys did in the fall. Winning a state championship during your fall season, or winning a state championship during the Fed season?
I think both are equally. You cherish both wins very well, because the 16U, we're a younger team there. We've only got 2 or 3 06s on that team in a 16U level, and then again we're a younger team in the Fed League. So I think we both take pride in both of them and want to do well in both of them.
Is it different when you play in the Fed because those guys are older than you?
Yes.
What is different about that?
You definitely have to be ready physically because we're an undersized team, but we play with a fast pace, and so I think that's different to other Fed teams in the area. We kind of use our age and our skill to our advantage. And that's worked successfully for us this year.
Do you know anyone? I mean, I know you're a little bit younger than those guys, but is there anyone you know either on St. Francis or really around the Fed that you played, that you know other than being your opponent?
Yeah, some of my former teammates that I've played with, I've met a couple of times around in the Fed League in games this year. Noah Albano specifically on St. Francis. I played 2 years with him on Junior Sabres, and he's a good kid.
Tell me something about him that maybe either about his game or about the way he approaches the game that most people don't know.
He's a big kid, and he's strong. He's hard on the puck, and he's physical. So he likes to hit, and so we've got to be ready for that. And he can score when he needs to.
All right, you guys played St. Francis twice this year. Let's break down those games. So the first one, you lost 6-3. The second one, which was late in January, you won 7-0. Why? Tell me about both of those games.
The first game, we had just come back from that Minnesota trip. It was also our second game in the Fed League. They came out hot. I got to give credit to them. They were kind of firing on all cylinders. They were coming with fast pace, and we couldn't really get anything generated. And by the time we kind of caught up a little bit of momentum, because there is ups and downs in games, we just couldn't bury enough.
And then your second game, you won 7-0.
After that first period, we were up 1-0. Some guys were like, "Oh yeah, up 1-0, like we're playing well," but we still had that extra tier to reach, and we knew that we had more. And then we ended up scoring 6 in the next 2 periods, and we were like, "That's that level that we know we can be at. It's just getting to that point consistently throughout every game."
You know, talking to a couple of people who have seen a bunch of your games, and kind of your Achilles heel, but it may not even be that much of Achilles heel. You get off to slow starts, and then you kind of turn it around come the third period. We know kind of happened against Orchard Park when we were there. St. Joe's the other night. It was still a tie game after one, and then as the second and third period went on, you took over the game. What do you? I mean, is that something you guys see as a negative? Do you see it as a positive? How much does Coach harp on you about maybe not so great starts?
Yeah, I think we would kind of see that as a negative and be like, we're giving teams too much respect, and we know that we can come out and win on every given night, on any given night, and we kind of have to play with that confidence that we can beat any team. And so starts have been a little shaky, but hopefully we kind of turn things around and kind of start in a good way when it matters.
You guys play in the you get to play in the KeyBank Center on Monday, the home of an NHL rink, the home of the Buffalo Sabres. I know you went there Friday, so first, what was that like to go there and get the tour?
It was a very cool experience. It was cool seeing all the kids from the teams that are playing there on Monday, and then walking out onto the ice for like that captain's picture was very, very cool. It's just a whole different atmosphere when you're in that big building, and you're playing on that larger ice. We're just gonna have to use that to our advantage on Monday.
What is it gonna be like when you bring when you're actually putting the skates on that ice? Have you thought about that moment? What's gonna go through your head?
I haven't really thought about that too in-depthly because I don't want to get into my own head about stuff like that. But we're gonna approach it like it's gonna be any given game, and it'll be different playing on that ice and like having all those people there. But I think we'll be ready.
I don't want you to give away your whole game plan because I know Coach will get mad. But if you give me a little sneak peek to it, what's kind of the the matchup against St. Francis? You played them twice. We talked about it. What's kind of going to be your focus on that team? Are there a couple guys that you need to lock down? Is it about playing your game? What's kind of the key?
Yeah, I don't think it's more so looking into our opponent. I think it's hockey's a game of mistakes, and we kind of got to limit those and do what we need to do, and not lose to ourselves more so the other team. So kind of sticking to our game plan, using our skill to our advantage, playing with that fast pace. I think that'll really help us.
All right, I want you to imagine right now. I know you don't want to think too far ahead, but you're holding up the Niagara Cup for the second year in a row Monday night. Tell me, how do you think that game probably plays out to get you to that point?
I see it definitely as a close game. I think we're gonna bring our best. I know we're gonna bring our best. They'll be coming hot. I know that for sure. They've got those seniors. They want to win. They want to go out with a bang. So I think it's gonna definitely be a close game. It'll be a great matchup.
All right, TJ, thank you for joining us. This is TJ Bamrick of Nichols. They will be playing St. Francis in the 6:15 game Monday at KeyBank Center for the Niagara Cup. You can also watch that game on the NFHS Network. TJ, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, when we come back, we're going to have a couple guys from St. Francis and Orchard Park for our Super Monday preview. You're watching High School Sports Saturday on Western New York Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Welcome back to High School Sports Saturday Super Monday preview. We're with Orchard Park's Braden Hearn and Bryson Roberts from St. Francis. Guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, let's start with this. You guys are playing in the KeyBank Center. These games haven't been in the KeyBank Center since really before COVID. I know you guys were there Friday. What does it mean to play in an NHL arena?
It's pretty special. It's something that, doesn't happen quite too often, especially for high school. Especially for high school kids. It's pretty cool. And the press conference yesterday at the arena was pretty cool. And it's definitely a privilege. So I'm trying to just take it all in. So,
Braden, what was it like to step out on the ice?
It's just an experience, to say the least. You step out and you just look around at the big stadium, just imagining it being filled all the way like it is for a Sabres game, and it's just taking it all in is really the experience itself.
Bryson, I want to go back to Thursday. That was one heck of a game. It was we were saying on the broadcast, like, it's a shame either goalie had to lose because they were just playing so great. And not only that, but your offense was getting chances. It wasn't like, it was just defenses were clamping down. The offenses were getting chances. What was it like before we get to the goal? What was it just like to play a playoff hockey game that, was just so back and forth like that?
It was definitely probably one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. I mean, both goalies played their hearts out. Like you said, it's a shame that, one team has to lose, but fortunately, we're on the other side of it. But I think, both teams played really good. I think everyone was, just trying to be, in the beginning, trying to be cautious, not making any mistakes. And I think, both teams kind of, their systems worked well, and all 4 lines kind of played good. So,
walk me through that last goal. Was it kind of, I guess it had to end on something a little bit fluky on that. Where your teammate goes down, the goalie's playing the puck out there. He didn't really play it wrong. It just your guy made the right move, spun it over to you. From your perspective, walk me through that goal.
So it all started with one of our forwards, Noah Albano. He had a pretty good back check, so it was a 3-on-2. I saw all their forwards were down in the zone, so I kind of, after I blocked the shot, I tried to take advantage of that. So I saw Dylan Kazmarski get behind their defenseman, and I realized that the 3 forwards were down here, so it would be a 2-on-1 if I jumped up in the play. And then, it rolled by. I saw the goalie out, which is obviously a pretty, exciting moment. And then I just saw Dylan Kazmarski, and he called for it, and lucky it went in. So,
Braden, let's get to you. You guys beat Will North the other night 4-0, and this was a team you'd split with, although you played your games both early in the season. What was your mindset going into that game against the Spartans?
In the couple practices before, we were just nailing down what they like to do and how to counter that. And we just had to get off to a good start, because if we get off to a slow start, then we can't really rebound back from it. But we got a good scoring chance like 20 seconds in, so we just kept building off that for the entire game.
Braden, I know you weren't on the team last year, but I know you've been around the guys, and you have some kind of feeling of it. What was kind of, at the beginning of the year, kind of the feeling after the way last year ended? They were going undefeated and then lost in the Far West Regionals. What was kind of the temperature of the locker room when you walked in earlier this season?
Just trying to stay hot from last season. We were lucky to get a couple kids from the team last year, and at the beginning of the season, they really took the team and just carried us through the first couple games before everybody could get their feet under them.
Braden, your goalie, what is, if you could describe, what is the key to your game? What makes you successful in net?
I just staying engaged is for the entire game. When the puck's not in my zone for a while, like against Will North, I only had 12 shots, but most of their shots were like high quality. So staying in the game for the entire time is, I guess, the key to success for myself.
So you would rather face a couple extra shots rather than, just have a game where your defense is mostly taking care of business. You would rather stay engaged. So I'm guessing, I don't want to say afraid, but you're worried if you don't get tested, you might give up something?
Get a little cold, and then they just get one chance to piggyback off our failure to exit our D zone, and then it's a goal just like that.
Bryson, you're the leading scorer on the St. Francis team. You have a couple game-winning goals, including the other night. 16 points in the year. Why are you? What do you attribute your success to?
I think it's got to start with the teammates. I have a lot of faith, especially my D partner, Owen Allaire, and I feel like over the season we've developed a lot of chemistry, and the forwards too. It's I feel like over this past year we've been playing together for a while. We're a tight group, and I feel like we all kind of know where each other is going to be on the ice, and that helps a lot. So,
Braden Presley Slits leading the way by far, 15 goals, 13 points. What makes him special out there?
He's just quick and elusive. He can get back on the back check very quick, and then quickly turn that into an offensive chance. And he was one of the kids on the team last year that had around the same amount of points and was able to piggyback off that season and just bring it into a leadership role this year.
All right, Bryson, I want to dig deep a little bit into your schedule here. I kind of went through it last night. Only a couple skids. You had a short skid in early January, mid-January. You had a loss to McQuaid, loss to Bishop Time, and a 2-1 loss. Do you count that as a skid, or was it just 2 bad nights?
It's tough, obviously, losing 2 in a row. I would say, I think every team kind of just goes through a drought a little bit. The same thing happened last year. We had a big drought in January, about the same time that the Timon and McQuaid games happened. I think that's gonna happen. You're not gonna win every single game, and I think we kind of broke down a little bit, lack of focus, lack of middle of the year, but those were 2 good teams. So half a drought, but they're pretty good teams. So.
What did you learn from those games?
You can't because going into the year, we thought we have a lot of seniors that it's kind of going to be like an easy stroll, but those games kind of taught us that every team's a competitor, and it's going to be hard if you want to win a championship. It's going to take a lot. So
we're getting into Nichols later because they're the big question. But you guys played each other 5-2 game, Orchard Park won. It was a 2:45 game at Leisure. What do you guys each remember about that game?
Like specific.
Yeah. What do you remember? Why did the score end up 5-2 Orchard Park?
They played really good. We kind of buckled under. They had a good forecheck. And I think we struggled this year with a team scores, and we kind of we don't really know how to respond to that, and we kind of buckled down. But it was a pretty good game. They had the better edge. So.
Braden?
It was kind of concerning when they scored in the first minute, just trying to rebound off of that and try and get our feet under us quickly to generate some offense and try and tie the game.
And you guys both practice at Leisure, so you guys run into each other quite a bit in terms of the teams?
Yeah.
Any illegal practices, Orchard Park, any scrimmages that happen on the rinks? No. No competition there. I will ask this, though. You guys are both, in most sports, the leaders in the South Towns, and, in terms of success. Is there kind of a rivalry between Orchard Park and St. Francis, not just hockey, but just in general?
I guess you would say so. I don't really. Not where I can remember, because we don't really have in the past. I guess you could say Orchard Park they've always been the team to beat. We lost pretty bad to them last year too. So, but I think more rivalry would be in your own division, but I don't know what to say on that.
Braden?
Not necessarily. We don't play that much against each other. It's not a heated division matchup. It's just not a pickup game, but just a game to make you better and help you for the league division play.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Braden, you guys face Clarence, so you split the series. You split the series with them. You beat them 3-1 to start your season, and you lost to them 3-2 back in late January. Walk me through each of those games. Why did they end up the way they did?
In our loss, they just capitalized on our mistakes. We had a couple D-zone breakdowns, and they were just able to capitalize right from. They were picking it. They were able to pick us apart and then just bury off of that. And then our win, we just were able to establish our forecheck quickly and stay defensively sound and not get antsy and run around in our zone, and just play a solid, tight defensive game.
Bryson, I'll go to you. Nichols, it's similar situation. You beat him earlier in the year. And then I'm sure a game you'd like to forget, January 30th. But walk me through those two games. Why such different results?
I think I'm not one to make excuses. We did the second game. We had we had a lot of injuries. Our top line was out, but you're not gonna just say that's why we lost. They outplayed us. I think the first game we kind of came out hotter. And I think we're more physical the first game. They're a very, very skilled team, but I think that we're bigger, stronger. So the first game we kind of took that into account, and then the second game I think their speed and skill kind of just beat us. So
you faced them and lost to them in this game last year. And it was kind of a tough way to end it. I know it's a bit of a bad memory. Just what did you take away from that game?
Obviously it sucks to lose, especially in overtime when you're out on the ice and the puck's right there. But I think the season as a whole, that was really fun, really successful. We weren't really expected to go far and to make it in the championship. Kind of showed that, if you want it that bad, you could, get to the championship. And for this year, playing the same team again, it's gonna be a fight. So.
Braden, I was looking at the standings going into the playoffs. Large schools were very close. I think 1 or 2 points divided between you guys and whoever was in fourth. I think it maybe was North. What was it like to? And I see you split a lot of games with a lot of your teams. Yeah. What is it about that large school? What is it about the teams you face why they're so close together in competition?
They're all good coached. Based off of last year, Orchard Park was the team to beat, so every time we played against a team, they were going to bring their best possible game, and we had to try and counter that with our own type of game. But in some games, we just slipped early and could never get back to our wanting to play style.
You weren't on the team last year, but you could kind of feel like everybody was bringing you their A game. How, from your perspective, how did you feel that? Like, even though you didn't know the past, necessarily personally, how could you feel that they were really playing a little extra better in those games?
I only played 1 year at Modified, but even just going to school with them and the team last year, my brother was on the team last year, so I was at most of the games, so I was able to. And then we had the summer league, which just brought our team closer together for the season, and we were just able to stick together and ride it out all the way.
Do you know anyone on Clarence outside of playing against them in the Fed?
I know Owen from the Junior Sabres organization. He was on the 05 team, and I was on the 06 team, where we had a couple combined practices. And then I know Max Henning. I used to play on his team at the Junior Sabres. And Luke Marchand, I just know him from when I went to Cheektowaga. He was there, and then he left to go somewhere else. What is
something about those guys that maybe about their games that maybe most people or the general public wouldn't know? Give me the inside scoop on those guys.
Well, Luke likes to shoot from anywhere. You could see from his goal numbers that if he has a chance to break a lane and go towards the net, he will. And Owen, he's a very offensive defenseman, so I guess that's one way to counter their attack is if you get the puck away from him, then it'll be an odd man rush back the other way. But it's hard to get the puck away from him because he's so good at protecting the puck and just keeping it down low.
Jack, do you know anyone on Nichols or Bryson? I don't know. I got you confused with your coach. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Anybody? Do you know anyone personally on Nichols or?
Not personally, because I think they have almost, except for 3 kids, they have an entirely new roster from last year. So a lot of fresh faces. So I can't say.
Do you know who else do you know in the Fed outside of playing against them?
Personally?
Yeah, personally, maybe you played with them or you knew them somehow growing up.
I'm trying to think. Just put me on the spot right now. From speaking of Orchard Park, I know a couple kids from there, like Frank Neeson, Jackson Newlove. I played with Frank for 3 years on the Junior Sabres, so we're still pretty tight and close. Canisius, Tommy Stouffer, I played with him in the Regals when we were younger. Trying to think. No, not anyone on Joe's, but Mary's, Andrew Baker, Noah Kellogg, they're top guys. All these guys I've played with when I was younger, so it's nice to kind of see one last ride, everyone around, playing for their school. So.
All right, I don't want you guys to give away the game plan, but if you give me a little sneak peek or tell me, when you're scouting the other teams, we'll start with you, Braden. Clarence, we know who they have. Is the game plan, or I should say, is the key, do you have to stop guys like Luke Marchand, or is it just about going out and playing your game?
I think it's just going about playing our game. If we can get on the attack early, then we can get a couple goals early and then just play our defensive game that we like to play, then I think we can easily take Luke out of the picture if we just stay defensively sound the entire game.
But he is a key part of the game. I mean, you can't ignore him, right? I mean, he's a key part of it.
We're probably gonna have to line match. I would have to assume to just keep our best guys against their best guys to try and limit the chances that he can get, and then their goaltending. Obviously, Ben Shoemaker won the Fed Goalie of the Year last year, so getting past him is not going to be any easy challenge, but it's something we're up for and trying to repeat from last year.
As a goalie looking at him, as your opponent across the ice, what sticks out most about his game?
He's just big and quick across the crease. In our second game, we had 4 backdoor chances in the last 2 minutes, and he was just able to get across with his big frame and take away any part of the net.
Bryson, kind of same question to you. Nichols has a couple guys who can put the puck in the net. Is your game plan, quote unquote, the Cliff Notes version about stopping those guys, or is it about playing your game?
Yeah, they definitely. We've noted a couple of their guys. They're young, but they're really skilled, and we've watched film on them and their power play, and I think that's one of their deadliest parts about their game. So we definitely try to stay out of the box, try to take no penalties if we can, and I think it's just about the first shift, first period, trying to set the tone. Be physical out there. So we're the bigger team, but you can't underestimate their skill and playmaking. So.
Yes, you mentioned their power play is so deadly. What makes it special?
I think they're just puck movement. They're pretty quick. Everyone's got hands. Everyone's got smarts. It's like they know where each player is going to be on the ice, and it's just when it gets going, it's really hard to stop. And we're trying to and their penalty kill too is the same. They pressure you. It's hard. So we've been working on power play, penalty kill, try to match the speed of that, and try to find something that works to stop them. So.
All right, I'll ask this question. I want you guys to imagine for a second you're at the Ice Key Bank Center end of the game. You're holding your banner, which is the Niagara Cup, the sectional banner. Tell me, what do you think will be the story of that game to get you holding that banner? Braden, I'll start with you.
I think the game's just going to come down to the last shot's going to be the deciding shot, and it's going to be a close game back and forth, but we each have to get out of our defensive zone as quickly as possible and generate as much offense as we can.
Bryson?
It kind of gave me goosebumps when you're saying that. But I think if we just play, you take care of your own end first. If you're solid in your D zone, then the offensive opportunities are going to come. And like he said, it's going to take that one shot, one mistake to capitalize. So I think someone's got to step up and find that opportunity. So
you're both guessing probably close games that more likely a chance you're going to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. That will do it for you guys. Thank you guys, Braden and Bryson, for coming in. We are going to take a short break, and then I will come back, wrap things up. We're doing a little shorter show today. We do want to mention we did invite Starpoint. Unfortunately, none of their guys could make it today, but we do wish them luck. But we got 5 of the teams in here earlier. We had TJ Bamrick from Nichols, and we had a couple Anthony LaGreca and Owen Meichenbaum from Clarence on earlier. So be sure to watch that later after the show's over. Watch how they did. They all did a fantastic job, and they're getting ready to play Monday at the Key Bank Center. But guys, thank you for coming in, and we wish you luck on Monday.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you're watching High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective pediatric care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
All right, welcome back. High School Sports Saturday, Super Monday preview. Today, we were going to try to see if we can get some guys playing in the Manhattan Cup coming up tomorrow. Unfortunately, just schedules. We were trying to. Tom just couldn't pull it off. He had other commitments to make. But, of course, we're going to be doing that game tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. It's Bishop Timon versus Canisius. That'll be on WNY Athletics. I don't know if you saw. Hopefully you saw Thursday. We did those two Monsignor Martin games in semifinals where Timon beat St. Francis and then Canisius beat St. Joe's. Those were on WNY Athletics. So we have the championship game Monday. So we'll be doing that tomorrow night. And then speaking of Monsignor Martin, we're going to do their two girls' championship games. That'll be Thursday at Hilbert. We'll have that on there. And then Saturday, whoever wins Canisius Timon will be playing in their state semifinal for Catholics. That'll also be on WNY Athletics. So a bunch of basketball left in there. And, of course, NFHS Network all weekend long. We had, Monday through – we put it out on social media yesterday. I meant to bring it up here. But, yeah, we have Monday through Saturday. We're going to be at least 3-4 sites happening. Those games are going to be fantastic. Some of those games already set so far for this weekend. But, yeah, we're going to be at Buff State. Obviously, Buff State we're going to be at. There's games at Will North, at Kenmore West, Sweet Home. So we'll have that all for you covered. Of course, JCC, we have our Jamestown crew down there. And again, that's all under one subscription. So I think there's about, if you count it up, probably 15, 20 games next week, all under one subscription. Not only that, but you're going to get the games next week 2 weeks where you have the crossovers as well, and then states. So be sure to watch out for that. So if you haven't already, get your subscription. Trust me, it's your money's worth. It'll take you all the way to states, and you'll be able to scout some of the teams coming up from the other side. I know, I think in Section 3 and Section 4, a lot of they use a lot of NFHS, so you'll be able to scout some of those teams as well coming up. So certainly you'll get your money's worth on that. We thank you, though, to everyone who has subscribed already. We are so happy that you have taken advantage of that this year. But yeah, busy week ahead for us at Western New York Athletics. Lots of games coming up. We'll be there for as much as we can. Broadcasting those games. Our crew is working hard right now to get our notes together for those games. We know there's a lot of games going on today at noon, maybe about 2 hours or so. A lot of quarterfinal games that'll really kind of finish up setting up those matchups next week at Buff State and the other places. Of course, keep in mind, I mentioned at the top of the show, we have wrestling happening today down in Albany. Matt O'Rourke is there, keeping track of that. Excuse me, let me pull up those names once again who made it into today. I haven't seen any updates. I haven't had a chance to look again, but the guys who made it up there, we have, 9 guys. So Jaden Crumpler and Amarafino Reynolds from Niagara Falls, both at 126. Deshaun Matthews from Niagara Wakefield. Cam Catcherbone, Will North. And then in Division II, J.J. Lazinski from Newfane. Jordan Jocelyn from Chautauqua Lake. Aiden Gillings from Newfane. Tavon Hoos from Southwestern. And Trevor Berry, of course, we know he won the Connolly Cup in football. He is wrestling in the semifinals at the 215 weight at the Division II level. So be sure to follow Matt all day long. He'll have the latest. Hopefully we come out with some strong place winners, maybe even a champion this year, or first place. And I think we're going to try to see if we can get Matt to bring in some of those guys into here next week on High School Sports Saturday as we continue on. We really get right into the thick of the playoff season. So, get out to some games, watch them on the NFHS Network. If you can't, make it to some games, get that NFHS Network subscription. If you're stuck in the house this week for some reason, you get plenty of games to watch. And, of course, Monday, we have our Super Monday Finals, 3:45. It's going to be Start Point against Niagara Wakefield, followed by the Niagara Cup. It'll be Nichols versus St. Francis in here. 6:15, and then the large school is going to be Clarence versus Orchard Park. You have 3 teams looking to reclaim or hold on to their titles from last year, and you have 3 teams looking to take it away. It doesn't get much better than that. Of course, at the Key Bank Center, we're going to have Jack Cruiser and Randy Schultz from New York Hockey Online on the call for all 3 games. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week coming up, so be sure to get your subscription and stay tuned for a strong week and week and a half of high school sports in Western New York. That's all I have for you right now. So for myself, Francis Beck, and the whole WNY Athletics crew, we want to thank you for tuning in. This was High School Sports Saturday on WNYF.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it